We start.
Welcome to the Pitcher Podcast, where the conversation is free flow, everything is on the house, and all we ask for in return is for you not to give us 1-star reviews. I'm Ian.
And I'm... What? And I'm Cody.
And I'm Cody. Yeah, very good. And today we're going to be talking...
Oh, God.
Today we're going to be talking about bad habits that we have. We were originally going to call it vices or virtues or something, and that sounded like way too serious, and we wanted to talk about like kind of some less like formal bad habits and stuff that we have.
Some naughty habits.
Hopefully not too naughty.
Okay, getting to our culture corner. This week we're going to be doing TV shows. So, Cody, you want to start us off?
Yes.
Yes.
So, okay. So mine is going to be Disenchantment, which is on Netflix. It's like a cartoon, and I think it's illustrated by the same person that illustrated The Simpsons, and so it's like kind of drawn in a similar way, but it's about like kind of like a fantasy land and like adventuring and like a princess who runs away from home and makes friends, and also Eric Andre is one of the voices in it and stuff as well. So it's fun, it's like lighthearted, not too serious, and the episodes are only like 20 minutes. So
do your Eric Andre impression. It's really good. It's actually really good.
No.
Alright, Cody's gonna do it. It's really good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go.
No.
Just say it live. Just say like Milady or something. Or like I don't know, what's the show about? Like be like, here's your horse, my lady. Say it in your Eric Andre voice.
Okay. Here's your horse.
So bad. Okay.
It sounds very just like American.
No.
Okay.
Cody's impressions are actually really good, so we're gonna
No.
at least one impression a week.
No.
Okay, getting into my TV show, my recommendation is The Final Table on Netflix. I've already watched the entire show. It's essentially a cooking show with some of the best chefs in the world. So they're already established. They all got like world famous restaurants. So it's more of like a competition for cooking clout per se.
Oh.
So it's like it takes a lot of the melodramatic aspects of like MasterChef or like the other shows, and actually focuses on the culinary art itself,
Very
which
nice.
I find like really appealing and very like I just love watching people doing, like, people who are best at what they're doing what they love.
Yeah.
And in this show, that's what they do.
For sure.
And there are a couple of Michelin starred chefs in the show that actually have restaurants in Hong Kong.
Oh, really?
There's one called Shane Osborne. He has, like, 2 restaurants, one called Arcane, one called Cornerstone. So if people are in Hong Kong, go check it out. I've been to Arcane. It's pretty decent. So there's also another chef within the show who also opened another restaurant in Hong Kong, and that's the one that I wanted to go with you guys like for Taco Tuesdays.
Oh,
There's this place called 11 West Side in Kennedy Town. Definitely check it out if you guys can. But I think it's a really, really good show. I think it's worth a watch if you're into cooking.
Yeah.
If you're into food, I think most people are into food.
Yeah.
Or like at least enjoy food. So definitely worth a watch. Great like production quality, and
Where is it found? Is it on Netflix or what?
That's on Netflix.
Okay. And what's the format of it as well? Is it like all of them in one place cooking dishes, or is it like does it go to each?
So
of the
it goes in
restaurants?
pairs. So like two like world renowned chefs are paired up, and then maybe like 8 teams or 10 teams, and then each week is a different cuisine, and then each week one pair gets canceled, or one pair gets disqualified. And then in the very end, it becomes the last 2 pairs, and then they all split up into individuals.
Okay.
So it's 4 people free for all competing for the final spot.
Oh, okay. And then what does the winner get?
They get to be on the final table, which is like it's like I guess like kind of like a pseudo council of the best chefs around the world.
Okay.
So that's what I meant about like clout.
Oh, okay. And then is it like every season's winner is like on the table?
They've only done like 1 season.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they're gonna do it anymore.
Okay.
But it's very good, worth a watch.
Gotcha, very nice. I've just been watching with like the 3rd wave of COVID that's hit Hong Kong. I've just been staying home a lot more, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube clips of like kitchen nightmares and Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, you also do a really good Gordon Ramsay.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No.
Cody,
No.
Say something. Say you're an idiot sandwich.
No.
That's a really good one.
Okay, then no, because he says, "What are you?" and then the chef says,
say, "What are you?"
and then you have to say,
Yeah.
I'm an idiot sandwich. You promise?
Yeah, but you gotta do your Gordon Ramsay impression. Okay, 1, 2... Cody, you studied in the UK. You can do this.
You studied in the UK.
No, it's fine. It's the same. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
What are you? You have to say
I'm an idiot sandwich.
Okay. Oh, I'm just being humiliated.
So it's a bit sweaty now.
I'm so sweaty. It's also really hot in the room that we're recording in because we wanted to give you guys the best audio quality, so we're not having any air conditioning or anything. But why don't we jump right into our weekly catch-up? I guess I can just start. But I've started to run a bit every night just to, like, kind of get a routine back into my life. Oh, actually,
no. Can of worms.
You just opened a big can of worms.
No. Running every night.
So I've started to run every night just to, like, get a bit of regular, like, cardio exercise into my life. And I had started running just, like, a tiny bit back in college every night before COVID hit and we had to evacuate and everything. And so just wanted to, like, start that again. Definitely, like, not impressive times or, like, lengths that I'm running at all, but it just has helped me to feel, like, really good, actually. You feel like
all
super...
about conquering yourself, Cody.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't need to compare with others. Michael.
Michael, if you're listening to this. Sorry.
Sorry.
We love you, Michael. But yeah, that's just been, like, a nice thing that I've done every night. And then... I mentioned last week that I have been seeing, like, wild boars around my house a lot more on my evening walks. And so last night I was running and I saw an entire family, actually. Even, like, the little tiny, like, piglets or boarlets or whatever they're called. They were so cute. But then one of the, I think, like, the mother or something was getting really, really close to me because there are these berries on the trees that fall onto the road near my house and they actually eat them. And so they was just, like, walking near me. And it got, like, 3 feet away from me. And I was so close to, like, petting it on the head or something.
Which is very, very illegal.
I was really close to touching it. It was so cute. And I took photos and everything. But, yeah, that's mine.
Do you like running at night? Do you think you can run in the morning?
No, I like it being, like, really empty on the roads and stuff. And I like it being dark,
really
too.
early in the morning.
Yeah, I just don't like waking up.
Okay. Because I did, like, run a lot during quarantine... like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Because that's basically the same situation that we are in right now.
Yeah.
It's almost just as bad. It's like there's lockdown and everything, so the only type of exercise I could get is through running. And I think it's actually, like, I used to hate running. I don't love it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's still very therapeutic to be by yourself and just, like, running.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's something about just, like, a regular routined... like, time where you're moving your body or, like, being active. It doesn't have to even be running. Like, I was still feeling really good when I had just, like, a routine of taking, I am not even going to explain what hand gesture
I didn't do any hand gestures. That's a lie. Cody, keep talking about running, please.
Anyways, I was kind of being real there for a moment. Just, like, any kind of, like, routined, regular movement of your body and stuff. It doesn't even have to be, like, running or even, like, walking. It can be, like, you know, like, yoga or just, like, yeah, I don't know, like, stretching or something. But
I do want to try
feels
yoga.
nice. Yeah. But, yeah, what about you?
So, I probably mentioned last week that I started working from home this week.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've gone through 5 days of working from home, haven't left the house in 5 days. And it's kind of weird. Like, I do really miss the office, like the environment of like a solid working environment. Like, I feel like I'm definitely more motivated to work. But then at home is just very, very comfortable. Like, the commute that I have to make is just off my bed.
Yeah.
And I do try to, like, do my bed, like, do some chores to begin with, so, like, I complete a few tasks and kind of settle my working place into a place where it's, like, less relaxing.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just so easy to just, like, stand up for a bit, stretch around, walk around.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but it just feels really weird considering that it feels like I'm back at school instead of, like, at work.
Yeah, for sure. When you're working from home, are your bosses or, like, line managers really strict about you logging in, like, right at 9 a.m. or something? Or
I mean, it's the same as the culture in the office. Like, they don't really care what time you're in or out as long as it's not, like, outlandish.
Yeah.
Like, it's around the time that you should be in or you should be out. So I think that applies the same. But like I try to keep my Skype online as much as possible. So like to make sure that they know that I'm online.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. And are you working in your bedroom or are you like...
Bedroom.
Okay. Gotcha. How does that feel for you in terms of like working in the same place that your bed is in?
That's the thing. That's why I do my bed. Like if I didn't do my bed, I would definitely be more lazy.
Yeah.
But because I do my bed, I don't like the thing about me doing my bed. Like once I've done my bed, I'll never go on my bed unless it's about like sleeping time. Like I'm very like anal about that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like I like things very neat and orderly.
Yeah.
So once the bed's done, it's done. I don't really touch it. So that is a bit of discipline I have. But also in the same time, like I'm getting pretty swamped with work the past week or two. So that's definitely helped out, you know, my discipline in working because I need to get this done.
Yeah,
so it's I don't really have time to fuck around.
For sure. I feel like if you didn't have like that much and were like constantly like waiting on tasks to be given to you, I would just like doze off or something and then I would start like be just like, oh, it doesn't hurt if I like sit on my bed, you know, a bit.
But the one good thing about working from home is like I like working with either music or something in the background.
Yeah.
That helps me like zone in for some reason. Like I have this really weird habit of like having like a video up. I don't actually watch it. I just like hearing like background talking noises.
Yeah.
And then that helps me zone in somehow. Mm-hmm. Like it does more bits than like music.
Yeah.
For sure. I think having the flexibility of being able to do that, because I wouldn't do that in the office. I wouldn't like plug my earphones in the office. It is a nice change of pace, but starting next week I'm back in the office, so I'm more than ready for it.
Yeah. What is like your go-to like study playlist or like work playlist or like movies or videos that you have up on the background like you just mentioned?
Like when it's videos, literally anything. Like I just go on YouTube and I just press something that's on my recommended that might like tickle my fancy. But I've been doing like a lot of podcasts. I've actually listened to like a couple of podcasts, or like my go-to is definitely jazz.
Okay.
So as you guys know, I do love a bit of jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz,
for sure.
Jazz, like I listen to jazz for everything. Like if I'm about to sleep, if I'm waking up, if I'm like I've even listened to jazz when I'm working out or even running.
Yeah.
It's very versatile, guys.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Are you a foot tapper? Do you find yourself like kind of moving along with it, or like
I'm an intense like leg shaker.
Okay.
I shake my leg a lot when I'm working.
Yeah.
I don't know what like that's about. Like even when I'm off caffeine. Actually, no. I've been back on caffeine. That's one thing that I want to mention for my weekly catch up.
Okay.
I am finally back on. Actually, no. Did I mention it last week? I think I did because I was talking about how I started drinking coffee with like a bit of oat milk.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think I've relapsed into this caffeine addiction of mine.
Yeah. And when you say caffeine, what do you mean? Like harder than just like tea, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like
because I used to like get hopped up on caffeine.
Yeah. That's high school days and stuff.
Yeah. It's like either Red Bulls or just like a couple of espressos. At night.
Yeah. That's grim. What is like your daily, I guess, like units that you're having? Like one espresso shot, like one cup of coffee is like a unit. Like how much do you?
Just one shot.
Oh, just per day.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all. That's really.
I know,
bad.
But then it slowly progresses, and then it becomes this whole thing where I get like numb to caffeine again.
Yeah.
And then I just start chugging a couple of espressos. Like
you just take a bit more.
Back in the days,
and then it's fine.
Back in the days, I've had like a triple shot.
Yeah.
Like no one should drink triple shots. Like that's so unhealthy.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just need it to start working.
Yeah. No, I feel that.
Rise and grind, baby.
Rise and grind, baby.
Rise and grind.
I've been limiting myself to, just because coffee is like a big thing that I've grown up with in my household, I've been limiting myself to 5 cups a day, and I'm super proud of myself.
5 cups?
5 cups. 5 cups. I used to have just like 1 French press a day, which maybe is like 6 or 7
Jesus
cups
Christ.
or something, which I don't even think that's bad, honestly, so.
I think a lot of the listeners would know that you love coffee if they listened to the previous episode. Which they hopefully have. And
if you haven't, stop this right now and then listen to episode 11.
And then leave a review.
And then, please leave a review. Ian is going to do a solo a cappella rendition of Roddy
we're not
Rich's
letting that go.
Ballin'.
We're not letting that go.
If we get 7 reviews, okay? Solo, not just himself, not me or anything.
All right, before we get into the meat of things, though, should we talk a little bit about the quarantine situation in Hong Kong and how we're kind of dealing with it?
Yeah, you go first.
Oh, I was trying to hint at you going first, but I guess. So essentially, like, there's this third wave in Hong Kong that hit, like, a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And it's getting, like, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, relative to Hong Kong standards. Yeah. And it's been, like, 100 or so cases each day. Yeah. So, Hong Kong's back on, like, lockdown, and it's, like, it feels weird. Like, it feels like I'm back in square one. Like, I feel like we've improved so much throughout the months, and, like, I'm finally getting over that slump of not taking public transportation. I have more, like, movement, more freedom of movement. I don't know how to fucking describe it, but essentially, like, just having that taken all, like, away is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I didn't really feel it was weird because I had to work from home the entire week. So that preoccupied a lot of my time. Yeah. For sure. It's just, it's so frustrating because the city was doing, like, super, super well. We had no cases for over 20 plus days.
Yeah, I know.
And then just all of a sudden it exploded again.
Yeah, and even when we didn't have, like, local cases, they would have been, like, imported cases, which, like, you know, they'd be, like, safely quarantined away, and it, like, wouldn't indicate a local transmission or, like, a local spread or something, too. But now, like, most of I think, like, yesterday we had 123 cases, and of those, like...
23? Isn't that, like, a high?
Yeah, that was, like, the record yesterday. And, like, everyone except for, like, 8 of those or something was local, and, like, half of those local cases couldn't be, like, traced, like, untraceable cases and stuff.
That's the thing, like, that's so annoying, like, that they're untraceable.
Yeah, I know.
How are they untraceable to begin with?
My whole theory is that it's from all of the people who didn't have travel restrictions put on them when they came in. And so, like, I've been reading up a lot about this, and I've talked about it a bit with some of my friends, but, like, from March to now, up until, like, from when the city started going on lockdown and having, like, mandatory quarantine and testing upon arrival, like, there are certain groups who, like, didn't have to get tested or quarantined or, like, contact traced when they arrived. And so, like, flight crews, like, fishermen's, like, people transporting goods in from the border with the mainland. Yeah, exactly. But the big thing is, like, flight crews and stuff. Like, didn't have to undergo, like, mandatory testing or, like, quarantine when they came in. So, like, the entire, like, in aggregate, in the past couple months, there's been 70,000 people that haven't had to be tested, that have just, like, been allowed to, like, kind of do whatever they want in the city. So that's, like, it's, like, so easy to see, even if only, like, 0.1% of those people were exposed to it or, like, had it. Like, that's still, like, what is that, 700 people?
Is this a conspiracy episode?
No, like, 70 people, like, going around this. Anyways, that's my...
Your 2 cents.
2 cents and stuff. It's just frustrating and stuff, though, too. There's also been, like, reports that the strain in Hong Kong of COVID is the European strain versus, like, the Chinese strain, which is not as deadly but a lot more infectious. And so...
Oh, my days.
Yeah, it's, like, honestly, who knows and stuff. It's just frustrating.
The thing about people with, like, exemptions and stuff, I feel like we've gotten to this place where we're able to, you know, build these temporary residences. I feel like they should be given 2 options. One, you come into Hong Kong, you have to live in these temporary residences if you're in Hong Kong. Or you can go home, but you have to abide by all the contact tracing.
For sure.
All the quarantining, all the testing. So it should be either or, and never given just, like,
I know,
full remit
like,
to just
carte blanche access to the city.
But it is what it is. Yeah. Hopefully, like, there's a pretty strict lockdown, like, instantly, which is fair enough. Like, there's a strong response to what's going on. Like, that can't be said for a lot of places around the world.
No, for sure. And luckily, I would say with, like, public health and stuff, Hong Kongers in general, just because of, like, SARS and MERS and like, swine flu and everything, are pretty, like aware of, like, public health and hygiene and stuff, and are also, like, decently compliant as well, compared to especially, like, the US or the UK or a lot of these other countries.
Yeah, we won't get into those places.
Anyways, why don't we jump into bad habits?
How about the second comment on your weekly catch-up?
We're not gonna be talking about that
give
because
me,
I didn't
give
write
me
that on
something.
my...
Give me.
I did not write that on our notes. Ian, you can explain it though if you want.
Nah.
No, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. The trick with Ian is you just have to call his bluffs every time.
Oh, okay. So I'm bluffing all the time. Okay. We're getting into this. Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Why don't you start with your bad habits?
So you start with your bad habits. Oh, what? You're gonna point them out. Okay, I think this bad habits episode is gonna tie really closely with our pet peeves episode.
Yeah.
Because I think Cody has a lot of bad habits of mine that he wants to point out all of a sudden. So Cody, you wanna start off?
No. I won't point any of yours out. Or maybe some. We'll see how it flows.
Okay.
But just starting with mine, I guess we kind of touched on it. But one of my really bad habits is just like a definite caffeine addiction that I have. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that like we thought our coffee grinder was broken for a while, and this was like at like 8 p.m. at night or something, and I was just like pacing back and forth in the kitchen, like wondering whether I should like run down to the town to get like some instant coffee or like order Starbucks or something. That was just like a bad place. So I definitely have like a caffeine addiction, and it's not like you don't notice how bad it is until it's like bad and you're in that moment, and then you realize it's not like you're having a good day and like having a cup of coffee and you're like, oh, like I'm definitely like addicted to caffeine or something. It's like when you've run out.
Do you have any like nervous itches when you don't have caffeine?
No, I wouldn't say any nervous itches, but I just feel like groggy, and like I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just like so tired and lethargic, and I've had like a lot of carbs or something, and like you know what would be really good is like a post lunch like coffee or something. That would be so good.
Very
and
Italian,
I don't even think yeah, exactly. I don't even think that it's necessarily like the chemicals in the coffee making me more awake in the caffeine. I think it's literally just like the Pavlovian response in my brain of being
look
like
at you, Cody.
of being like cold coffee feels good, and I know that like it's a routine, so that like wakes my brain up and stuff. So it's just bad.
Is that a pastry?
It is.
Yeah, I know, Cody. It was that's part of the joke.
Okay, it's actually not a pastry. Just want to make that clear.
Oh, is it not?
No,
a pavlova.
A pavlova is
Yeah, exactly.
Pavlovian.
Yeah, I know, Cody, that was a joke! Oh my god, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so...
Tapping into caffeine...
Is it a pastry?
Shut up. Tapping into caffeine addictions. Like, I also used to have one.
Okay.
And it was so bad to the point where I do get, like, not nervous itches, but, like, I get twitches in my fingers where I'm just, like, tapping a lot. Mm-hmm. And then, like, once I have the caffeine, it kind of soothes me. Mm-hmm. I get, like, to calm down and focus. Mm-hmm. So that was
Did your parents ever comment on it? Like, where do your parents fall on like caffeine and your consumption of it?
They don't really know because the majority of it was in NTK. And just like me drinking like three espresso shots at like 7 at night.
Like high school, we would go to this tuition center after school, and so I guess our parents didn't know about it at all. I think with my parents, they really didn't mind, but I was just wondering like, if your parents knew about that level, like, would they have cared?
Oh, my mom's always asking me to drink coffee now.
Oh, really?
She's like, okay. Do you want one? I'm like, no. And she was like, actually, just have one. I'm like, no. But,
okay.
I guess going into one of my bad habits, we can start off with cussing. How are we about cussing, Cody? I feel like, okay, like, swear words are just so, like, they're so prevalent in my, like, natural vernacular, but then I do understand this concept of time and place. So, like, if I'm in a place where I shouldn't be cussing as much, I definitely hold back. But when I'm just, like, in a very natural flow of things, I feel like I cuss a bit too much.
Okay.
Not that I'm going to change.
Not that I'd ever think about changing.
It's just an observation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They say, you know, people who swear a lot are very... Oh, God, Siri. People who swear a lot are actually very eloquent to begin with.
Oh, really? Okay.
People who swear a lot are very smart, very intelligent.
Yeah. That's definitely with Rachel. Okay, why don't we play a little game? Why don't I throw you...
Rachel's a genius.
We love you, Rachel. We love you, Rachel.
That was a joke.
We didn't mean anything bad, Rachel. Why don't we play a little game? I'll throw you, like, scenarios or situations or environments, and you tell me if it's okay to cuss or not.
Okay.
Okay? Just, like, hanging out with the boys at the bar or something. Yeah. Okay.
Is this one of those games where it's like, say TWA, TWE, and then you say TWA?
No. Just spitballing a bit here. Okay, how about you for like a family dinner with your parents?
Ooh,
a bit more
family
chill.
Dinner?
Yeah.
Just with that, like, just my parents?
Yeah.
Like, not the harsh ones, maybe like level 1 swear words.
Okay. Such as?
Like shit.
Okay, yeah. All the stuff we don't censor on the podcast, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What about, like, larger group gathering, like extended family, cousins and uncles, people?
To the cousins.
Oh, okay, but not
cousins.
to, like, aunts and uncles and stuff.
I don't think I ever swear in front of people older than me. Like,
Okay.
significantly older than me.
Yeah. That makes sense. What about a baby shower?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a nice dress.
We're also in one of the rooms of my parents' houses, so Ian, why don't you?
It's getting really hot. So, the energy is coming.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Next habit.
Yeah, I guess, all of these are kind of, like, interrelated, but, oh my god, we're definitely gonna censor that. I think that another one of mine is, and I think this, Ian and I kind of share this one, honestly, but it's just, like, laughing in bad moments or, like, inopportune times. And we were brainstorming before this about, like, all the notable scenarios in which we have, like, been laughing when it's clearly, like, not okay to be laughing. And so, like, I don't know what it is. And I think some people have, like, really good self-control, or, like, even if they're finding something funny, they can, like, steel themselves and not laugh. But I just don't have that at all. Like, all of my self-control completely goes out the window. And it's actually a problem. Like, in our junior year of high school, we had this really important English class presentation that every student had to do. And it was, like, 15% of, like, our final grade that we would come home with at the end of our senior year. And so everyone was, like, really nervous and had prepped for these for a long time. And our English teacher was also, like, decently strict at the beginning of our junior year too.
Yeah.
And so our friend Nathaniel, we love you, Nathaniel.
Love you so much, Nathaniel.
Hope you're listening to this in Australia. But he did his presentation on, I think, like, societal views of, like, men and women in health and stuff, and, like, their ideal body shape and the language around that. And so he just had all these, like, men and women's health magazines up on his slides, and then he got to one of them, and then he said something, like, Ian had already started, like, giggling a tiny bit, and I was, like, trying really, really hard not to just, like, I was just, like, looking at the floor and stuff, but then he gets to this one slide, and he goes, so as you can see, it looks a lot like, pornography. And then at this point, I don't know what it was, just, like, the fact that he pronounced, like, pornography instead of, like, it was just, like,
pornography.
Yeah. And then, like, he was already just, like, kind of on the verge of laughing, and then I think he just, like, made eye contact with, like, Ian or, like, someone else in our group, and we just, like, lost it and started chuckling, and then he actually started laughing as well, because I think he had the same thing, and I think it was also just, like, the nervous energy that went into it.
He was, like, choking on his words because he was laughing so much.
And so he was, like, in front of the whole class, and the teacher, like, grading him with the rubric in front of her and everything, and then he couldn't stop laughing, and he tried to keep going on, and then he still couldn't stop himself, so finally, he, instead of just, like, being like, okay, I need a minute, he turns away from the audience and the teacher and faces towards his slide projections and just starts laughing.
Just towards the wall. He just had to get it all, like...
So we were just watching this guy who stopped in the middle of his presentation, turned away from us, and is laughing just facing the wall. So that's definitely a moment.
Yeah.
But also, 2 nights ago, Ian and I were interviewed by one of Ian's like, second cousins or something who works at Facebook, and he just wanted to, because of some project they're working on, he wanted to interview us about doing a podcast. And it was really nice. It was, like, really nice to talk with him and just, like, explore kind of our thoughts on podcasting and stuff. But this is the first time that Ian and I had seen each other in a while, and it also just was, like, at 10 p.m. one night and seemed, like, super formal for some reason. And so I logged into this Zoom meeting, and then I just see Ian's face right there, and then right as soon as I log in, I see Ian just, like, smirk a bit, and then I was like, oh no. And then so at the beginning of this meeting, I just, like, was, like, having to bite my lip bit sometimes, and then literally as I was talking, I just, like, couldn't stop getting like an itch to smile, so I tore off a Post-it and then I literally stuck it on my computer over Ian's like little box where you can see his face, and that really helped. But obviously, like, in an actual in-person meeting, you can't do that. So I need to, like, definitely work on this and stuff. But that's
no, it's just, like, we're too giddy. Like,
Yeah.
all it takes, we don't even have to say anything. All it takes is just, like, a look. And that just cracks me the hell up.
Yeah, and it's, like, a picture tells 1,000 words, a million words or something like that. But, like, truly, like, one of our smirks to each other, like, tells an entire story, I think.
Okay,
because we've known each other for, like, so long, and there's so many, like, shared experiences and humor.
Because going back to the presentation Nathaniel was doing, I remember just, like, he was setting things up, and then after the first slide, he just pressed next, and it's just like a wall of covers with like half-naked guys and girls.
Like, six-packs and abs and pecs
like,
and everything.
Like oiled bodybuilders. And I was like, this is an English presentation. What's the relevancy to any of it?
Yeah.
And then I just look at him, he's just like, you know, like the typical Nathaniel grin.
Yeah.
And then I start grinning, and then I just start cracking up, trying to hold it back, because I know this is like just the start of his presentation.
Yeah. And it's like a decently important presentation and stuff as well.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
But yeah, have you ever had any like bad moments where you couldn't stop laughing? Like other than that you can remember, or not really?
When he was reading Streetcar. We're not gonna get into that, but
that was so bad. Ian fell off his chair. This is the same class, same teacher and everything. Just like a year later, so our senior year, and then don't want to talk about the scenario, but Ian fell off his chair literally in the middle of class.
I had to like laugh under the table because I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
So
that was
bad.
So funny.
That was really funny. But yeah. What about you?
Okay, I'll just get to the next one then. The next one is, I guess, my habit of talking over people or talking too loud. I'll put those two together.
Yeah.
Because they tend to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I just get very, like, energetic in a social situation, and, like, I love talking and sharing my opinions. And, like, when that energy kind of coincides with stuff I'm trying to say, I tend to get, like, louder and louder and louder until I realize, like, okay, maybe this is a bit too loud.
Yeah.
And, not that, okay, I feel like none of these bad habits I'm gonna be, like, you know, improving on.
Yeah, of course, and I don't think you have to a certain extent.
I feel like there's definitely a need of like a bit of reduction to a lot of the frequency of these things. But yet again, time and place. But going into talking over people, we've probably, you know, talked about this in our pet peeves episode that Cody had to mention about me. Wait, there's this thing. There's this thing.
I had to do it too.
Where like I just have like goldfish memory. Like if something comes up into my head, like I can't keep it in for longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like if I do, I will probably forget it.
Yeah.
So like I have this like urgency to spit it out and just like what's it called, like verbal vomit.
Yeah.
Like, and just vomit it all out and just, like, say it in the moment.
Yeah.
And sometimes that interjects with, like, something that someone's trying to say. Or, like, I'll, like, talk over and be, like, asking unnecessary questions.
Yeah.
And someone's about to talk. Or, like, when someone's, like, telling a story.
Yeah.
And I see Cody very agrees with this point. He's like, yeah, you do that. That's very true.
I think that, like, I've noticed in our friend group, and, like, certain people don't mind it as much. Like, for example, Rachel, I think, is, like, of course, maybe not, like, totally fine with it, but she doesn't, like, Rachel grew up with, like, 4 older brothers, I think, and probably just, like, had to, like, speak up a lot. But, like, for me, I just get so irritated by it, and I'm learning to, like, be better with it and stuff, and, like, just, like, tell myself to, like, calm down or not, like, get annoyed by it in the moment. But
it's just MD talk, Cody.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, I'm telling a story, especially when it's, like, my story, too, and then Ian will, like, say something, and of course it's not, like, vindictive or, like, meant with any ill intent or anything, but then I'm just like, okay. And then he's like, okay, so, like, sorry, like, just continue. I'm like, no, it's okay. And I'll just, like, go on to eating, and he's like, Cody, stop. And then that irritates Ian.
Yeah, because he knows that bugs me. He bugs me.
So he's like, Cody, just tell me. I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, obviously, like, you don't care enough to, like, like, it's fine. Like, yeah, let's just hear it. Tell me more about that. But yeah, I guess that's, like, one of my, I just, like, know it irritates Ian, and that gives me joy in the moment. But yeah.
Over to you.
I guess, again, like, just, like, taking a segue off us talking about, like, group settings and stuff, like, I definitely think our friendship group, because we have so much, like, shared history and experience and, like, shared baggage, and we still see each other a ton, we just get into, like, this, like, group, like, hive mindset, I think, when we're all together, which is really, really fun because we all get each other super well in the moment. But then when we're introducing someone who, like, doesn't know us as well, or is, like, you know, tangentially related to this group and, like, might not know, like, all of the inside references and jokes and stuff, like, it's just really hard because we don't take the effort to, like, explain any of our inside jokes or
and
references.
it doesn't make sense when we explain it. Like, it's so, like, half of our inside jokes are so stupid. But it's just so funny.
And they're straight up, like, not funny when we explain it, too.
I know.
Like, even if we were, like, explaining... If we, like, said, like, pornography funny, and then, like, all laughed about that, and then they're like, oh, like, why did you all laugh? And then we had to explain that whole Nathaniel thing. Like, it just wouldn't, it would, like, flop in the moment. Like, it wouldn't be funny.
You gotta be in the moment.
Yeah.
You gotta be there.
Except that happens just, like, so much, so we get to the point where we don't even, like, really bother explaining. And so some of the times, like, there's certain jokes that, like, me, Ian, and Michael have that Rachel doesn't get. And
hey,
so
Rachel, Blueberry Dago.
Rachel, search up what Blueberry Dago is. But, like, Rachel just, like, sometimes she just, like, furrows her eyes at us and, like, tries to think through, and then sometimes you can see she just, like, her eyes glaze over and she just, like, doesn't pay attention to us at all. Yeah. So I guess depending on her interest level, she'll either be like, guys, explain that to me, or, like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Or sometimes she would laugh, and then afterwards she'd be like, yeah, but guys,
that's the best time. That's the best one, where she laughs along, and then we, like, look at each other, and then we look at Rachel and, like, Rachel, you had no idea what you're laughing at. She's like, yeah.
What is it, guys,
but, like,
please.
explain it to me. We're like, no. But yeah, that's just, like, I think a product of our group being so close and stuff.
We'll do a couple more. I think another bad habit of mine is, like, I love switching into different accents. And then, I don't know why I do this, but, like, I only realized when Michael started pointing it out, like, last summer or 2 summers ago, where I would just, like, suddenly bust out and just, like, speak in an Australian accent, or, like, get into, like, a British accent.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just, like, especially when it's, like... I always do it when it's, like, a very awkward situation.
Yeah.
Really, whoa. I was gonna say awkward.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're gonna say. It sounded so normal too. I didn't even register until you said it.
But yeah, that was a, like, pure example of me about to, like, bust into a British accent. But I don't know. It helps in the moment for me.
Yeah, just, like, cut the tension and everything.
Yeah.
You had talked about that before we recorded our first episode. You're like, I'm gonna have to stop myself from switching into the, like, British accent, saying, like, oh, that's awkward or something, or, like, when
I've already done that so many times in, like, the past few episodes. Like, whenever it's like, oh, that's a good one. It's like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. And just to the point where, like, I haven't even noticed because I'm just, like, so used to it, and so now I'm just like. Ian always has to point it out because I don't even, like, register it or anything.
We have too much influence over each other. Like, I realize a lot of the things that, like, we say actually rub off on, like, one another. Yeah. Like, I started saying, like, when I'm, like, referencing different places, like Taiwan. Yeah. I'll be like, oh, I have to head up to Chai Weezy. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Michael starts saying, like, Chai Weezy or Hang Heezy. I'm just like, damn, dude.
Also, that's
so
really
stupid.
It's so stupid. That's really funny because Michael would say that it annoyed him when you said Chai Weezy and stuff like that.
But then he was like, where should we eat? He's like, let's check out Hang Heezy.
There we go. Michael, you can't say it annoys you anymore. You'd say it right now. But yeah, I guess speaking of this, have you've seen Shark Tank and stuff, right? The TV show. So I was looking, I used to watch it with, like, my dad and my sister a bit, and then whenever, like, a pitch goes really poorly or really well, you always kind of wonder, like, oh, what's the best pitch that happened, or, like, the worst pitch, like, the biggest flop, because you can tell that, like, the producers definitely let some of these people in, not because they had a good plan, but because their plan was so bad, and it would, like, make good TV to watch like, get destroyed.
It's like old American Idol.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not everyone is just let in because they're so good. So I searched up this one, and it was called, like, Pavlok or something. I hope we don't get sued for this. But it was this one guy who basically had, like, a Pavlovian response app, where you would put this bracelet on and then put in like the targeted behaviors that you wanted to break. So like putting your hand up to your mouth to like take a cigarette puff or something, and then it would shock you.
What the hell? It's like a dog collar.
Yeah. It's literally exactly a dog collar. Like that was like the premise of it and everything. And so like all of the sharks or like investors like went out completely, and then there was just like this one guy like Kevin O'Leary or something who makes really like cutthroat deals and stuff. And so he was the only investor, like potential investor, and then this guy was just like super cocky throughout it and like wasn't willing to take any of their advice or like heed any of their thoughts, and then at the end of it he was like this is the only deal you have left on the table, are you gonna take it? And then he's like, actually no, like I came in here wanting to make a deal with any one of the other sharks except you. Like, so, and then Kevin O'Leary is like,
shit.
You can search it up on YouTube if you want. Kevin O'Leary is like, get out of here, you fucking asshole. And they're like, whoa, hey. But yeah, I think it's like still like a product that's out there or something. But it just made me think of this like Breaking Bad Habits and stuff. Would you ever get anything like that? I definitely wouldn't. Seems like a like health hazard and stuff.
It's so prone to like mistakes. Like, what if you're just trying to go up and scratch?
I know.
And then they're like, oh, you're trying to smoke a cigarette, and they shock you. Not that I smoke cigarettes.
Yeah. Or like if you're in like a business meeting or something with clients and stuff, and you like go to like itch your head and like it shocks you.
You're pointing to like a figure.
Yeah. I also can't see anyone spending like 100 or 150 like US dollars on something that like hurts you.
Yeah. Why don't you do one last bad habit, Cody, and then we'll end it up with...
Yeah, sure. I guess this is just what I talked about with my weekly catch up, but I love boars, especially the wild ones near to my home, and I always want to feed them. I even brought like an apple I had the other night out, hoping that I would see one. I didn't end up seeing one, but if there was one, I would have like fed it or something.
Yeah.
I know it's definitely illegal to feed boars in Hong Kong, so no one report me, please. But they're just so cute, and I feel like they're like just so innocent and earnest, and just like will just like take a night stroll with their family and like eat little like
they're wild, man. They'll kill you.
But I see a ton of them, and I take a photo of them whenever I think if I see the one that I've been seeing for the past couple nights, the really calm one, like sometime this next week and I have food with me, I'm gonna like hand feed it. Like I legitimately think I will.
No,
my dad rides bikes around Hong Kong, and this one place in this area of the city called Aberdeen, there's this wild kind of like vacant lot that a lot of boars come to, and he's seen this guy cut up fruits, like cut up apples and oranges like a lunchbox.
No, we saw that. We saw someone feeding it like outside Rachel's.
Yeah. But this guy will hand feed them. Like, they obviously know him and it's a regular occurrence. He'll put like slices of oranges that he's like cut up into his hands, and they'll just like eat out of it.
Okay, so cute. If you're gonna do this, at least take it in steps. Like, probably place the food on the ground.
Yeah. And
then establish that kind of like connection with them first. Mm-hmm. And then do that more often, and then start hand feeding them.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you next weekend without a hand and be like, they were really cute though.
Yeah. Ian and I saw what he just referenced is we were leaving Rachel's house like maybe a month ago. Ian just dropped his hat off his head.
Jesus.
But we saw a man hiking. And Rachel lives in like a foresty area of Hong Kong as well, but this man had a big loaf of bread, and he was feeding a boar like white bread and stuff, and you could see like obviously the boar really liked it, but then he like stopped giving it, and the boar like kind of charged him and stuff. Actually, it was like chasing him a bit.
Yeah.
So I'll have to figure a way out of like
it was a big ass boar.
Yeah, though. It was huge. If you're not in Hong Kong and wondering what it looks like, just search up like Hong Kong wild boars or something. They're so cute. They're really, really cute. But yeah, that's a bad habit. My parents always are just like not keen on me feeding the boars. You're
just too compassionate, Cody.
Yeah,
this is a shit bad habit. This is like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. I like everything to be
What's your
perfect.
biggest weakness? I work too hard.
I love my work. I'm too much. Dedicated to my work.
I care about animals too much.
Yeah, bullshit.
I don't know why you're saying that's
okay, so we have quite a few like other bad habits on the list, but we're just gonna cut it short here.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna sprinkle them into different episodes if they're related or just because we want to mention them. So
if you want to hear,
keep tuned.
Yeah, if you want to hear a bad habits part 2 episode, let us know.
Yeah, but you gotta let us know.
You gotta let us know. Send us a review, man. Review.
Bro, like, it could be a shit review. I don't even care. Just...
No.
Oh, okay,
give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars.
But you can write whatever. As long as you give us 5 stars and a review, you can write whatever.
But our intro says at least it's not 1 star. So, like, 2 stars is better than 1.
Yeah, but come on. Hopefully 4 or 5 stars.
Yeah. Probably 5 stars.
But, yeah.
Okay, so just to end it here, follow us on Instagram at PitcherPod, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Yet again, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you
Do we have any new ones?
I haven't checked right now. If there are any new ones, I'll let you know next week. But thank you again to Delia, to Rooksy, and to Noah who reviewed us.
Okay, and Ian and Cody.
But you always hate it when I mention that we reviewed our own podcast.
We're going to be giving out shout-outs to everyone who rates and reviews us, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Subscribe and check us out on YouTube as well, Spotify. And please DM us at pitcherpod@gmail.com or on any of the platforms we mentioned previously with thoughts or suggestions for next episodes. And we'll grab a picture with you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.